Ripple XRP, so we have another day in the market, but it's not like a bloodbath as we saw yesterday. Obviously, we are seeing a bit more recovery in the market in general. You can see over here that we are in the green. Topics that we're going to speak about today, guys, are the 10 trillion that could be flowing through Ripple. Brad Garlinghouse spoke about this, and also the Fed Now service as well. We do have a bit of pushbacks and delays, so you guys do need to be informed on that. Now, so far, you can see over here that XRP coin is trading at $2.13. I want to know your opinions down in the comment section below. Do you think that XRP coin could potentially fall below the price of $2 and possibly go to 170 or 180? I have heard a lot of people saying that XRP could potentially be going to 50 cents, but I think that that is quite unlikely, especially as of now. But I do think that we could potentially be seeing 190 if obviously we see a bit more of this downturn happening. So a little bit of recovery, but not too bad. It hasn't broken that $2 mark. In terms of the news, you can see over here that we have all federally chartered banks possess master accounts which allow for direct payments with and access to the Fed. So what's this about? You can see over here we had that Trump plans to sign executive order ending Biden era crypto debanking. So of course it seems like as if we're getting that all back in now, and it could actually target key Federal Reserve policies. And if this is the case, it just goes to show that crypto is a massive opportunity for a lot of us. Over here it says that such accounts are crucial for a bank to meaningfully serve customers nationwide. During the Biden administration, the Fed persistently refused to grant master accounts to crypto-focused banks like Custodia, stymieing their growth. And this is the thing, obviously we are only in early days now with Trump coming in. However, if we are able to get this with these banks, then it looks like as if we are on a roll and being able to actually increase the likelihood of course, other banks being able to have those master accounts. Now, changing this policy and allowing crypto banks to access the Fed's services would constitute a massive development for the digital assets industry. And this is personally why I think that this is another catalyst for us in this year 2025. We are only going to see more changes. Now, in terms of the ISO 2002022, if you remember when I spoke about that standard before, you know the Fed Now service. Well, you can see over here that the Federal Reserve have now announced a revised timeline for the transition to the ISO 2002022 message format for the Fed Wire Fund service. Now, if you already know about this news, then good on you. But I've not posted in a while, so I just wanted to make sure that you guys know of this. It did actually come out in mid-February. So it was actually scheduled for the 10th of March. However, it's now been postponed to the 14th of July. And again, this is going to be another catalyst that we have too. And it's basically in a bi-yearly. And it's going to allow more people to be able to come in as well. And it's to do with these requests and obviously feedback and things like that. In terms of Brad Garlinghouse and what he has said with the 10 trillion, I'm just going to show you right now this video that by 2030, he believes that about 10 trillion in custody digital asset will be running through Ripple. That's obviously going to cause a good effect in terms of the price of XRP. However, I don't know if it will be going to triple digits. I personally think that we could be seeing a $5 XRP. But in terms of that $100, well, that is a different case. But if we do have more funds into this, it can definitely increase by quite a lot.
The macro environment around custody digital assets is expected to be close to $10 trillion by the year 2030. And inevitably, people are going to need a place to store those assets and safe, secure, and they're going to need to be able to transfer them as well, having good on and off ramps. Even a tokenization engine, some of the work Ripple is doing around central bank digital currencies or CBDCs. So we think there's a lot of pieces that come together, and we already had. I remember when you and I first spoke. I remember being on a call with one of the largest top 10 banks in the world, and a bank Ripple was already working with, and they were asking us about could we help them with their custody. This is prior to Medico acquisition, and we weren't in a position to do that. And so when we think about that synergy, the ability to say to that existing Ripple customer, hey, here's a best in class, going head to head time and time again and winning on the custody level, to be able to bring that product to them, I think is a great opportunity for the two companies together. So
And when it comes to crypto, we do know that custody is very important, especially with the chain that it goes through, in order to be able to protect our digital assets. So it'll be very interesting to see how much of the inflow we will actually get in terms of the numbers and when it comes to 2030, right? Because these are all projections as of now. But when we come to that stage, then it will go to show what will actually be thrown through it. And over here, we have some information regarding Swift. Now, a lot of people have said that Ripple could potentially beat Swift and probably replace it. I don't necessarily think so. I think that Swift have been around for many years. They are one of the major players, to be honest with you. And if anything, Swift is only adapting to its own system, and it's going to be taking on newer methods as well. And so it will most likely include other things. However, I don't think that it will be necessarily replaced. And the reason as to why I'm going to show you this video is because this man over here has been working at Swift for many years, and he says that XRP will be acting as a currency on the Swift messaging system. So another reason as to why we could potentially see a catalyst.
There's a discussion surrounding crypto replacing Swift. So we did speak earlier where you mentioned that it's not necessarily about replacing Swift, it's about complementing it. So let's get some more information on this.
Okay. I used to work for Swift. I was Swift for 20 years, so Swift is flowing through my veins. Swift is the preeminent messaging system for the financial industry, which covers, say, payments, FX, trade, in terms of securities, etc., Nostra reconciliations, etc. What we're looking with crypto, though, is where Swift would have a store and forward system for most of its payment transactions, where you need service level agreements that in a certain time I will do something, the payment turns up at a certain time during the day. Here we're looking at the new network styles which allow instant, real-time movement of the funds and visibility of those funds as well. So we would not have a situation where banks need to come back to you and say, have my funds arrived, it's 3 days later, I need to find out or find query messages moving around the network. There's nothing like that. I don't believe Ripple is going to replace Swift. Ripple is one of the complementary networks which is going to allow those institutions who need real time to make use of that. And I think we're also seeing that Swift are changing their network capability so that real time will be a possibility as well. But we may also see Ripple XRP moving across the Swift network as a currency when we're perhaps using something like FX.
Now, so I just like.
And it's really important that we understand this, because which institution doesn't want real-time transactions? Or what we've been trying to do for the past couple of years with these institutions is to have real-time transactions, right? We used to have 3-day working payments or even 5 business day payments, and then we went to chaps, and now we're gone to same-day faster payments. But if we can get real-time payments, as in, for example, you make a payment right now to this second and it can be transferred over the network, then that is obviously a benefit for these institutions, especially when we talk about high volume, guys. We're not talking about $100 or $200. We are talking in big numbers, like in millions and billions, being able to move across the network when suppliers are trading with each other in different countries and are having to settle $60 or $70 million agreements. Also, the low cost of it, being able to provide the low cost of the service, and so that when they are making the $60 million payment, they are not charged with a huge fee such as 20 or 30%, but rather much minimal. And this is what Ripple actually provides, and is one of the reasons as to why I'm very bullish on it, and is one of my favorite projects as well. Now we're just going to have a look at the price action in a bit more detail. We are up by 4.81% on the 1-day chart. If you have a look at the volume, we are at 8.81 billion. So of course, with the price just going a little bit up, settling over there, we have higher volume compared to yesterday at 7 billion. And if we have a look at the 7-day chart, you'll actually see the price movements and what we've just gauged so far. So obviously we did actually have some red over here, as you can see. Now the lowest that we went to was 1.9597, but it was able to bounce back up. And this is a positive sign, as it means that we've not actually been able to break below that 1.9 level. In terms of my price prediction, I want XRP to stay up and above the $2 level, but if it does break below 1.90, then it looks like as if we're going towards more of a bearish market and turn. It is still in the beginnings when we've had this tariffs news from Trump, and so again the market is still very fearful, but we are up by 3.5% overall in the crypto market, but it just means that we're pretty much recovering. It's not like as if we are gaining any more. Bitcoin is actually over $80,000, that is to be noted, but again, still extreme fear in the market.